Yo, welcome back to Wook Plus. I'm Weekend Wook, joined by Kev and T. Oh man, that is not smooth at all. I tried to do the smooth bring down. Anyway, PHiSH released a new single off of a new album today. I don't think anyone was shocked or surprised that this album was coming, but there was no sign it was coming today. I thought it was kind of a bold move to go with Evolve for the first taste of the album. I'm not going to sit here and say that I hate the song, and like shit all over it. I'm just not convinced that for the first studio album in a couple of years to give it, get the hype levels up. I don't know if Evolve is the song that would really get everybody hyped, but I'm
Is
curious
the
what you
lead
guys
off
thought about
single.
it. Right, exactly. Like it's like a decent song, I guess. Right. And I know like, it has mixed reviews live, but
What
like
if,
does it have the hypeness to it for a new album?
my initial thought when I saw that the song was Evolved, they chose to drop, is that that's what the album is going to be called eventually.
It is going to be called. Yeah, I
It
think
is.
they
That's
announced it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the album's evolved. That's why I think they did it. It's like the title track off the album, and depending on what else is on there, since we don't really know, we can speculate, but we don't really know. I think it makes sense because it's familiar enough, like you just said, Tim. Like people kind of know it, so it's familiar enough to recognize and connect the song with the album title as a marketing type thing. And to your point earlier, Kev, it's 3 minutes, right? So it's a quick, easy, in and out song. You're not like bound by anything. So I don't know. It makes sense in a way, but I could see why it's not exactly. I mean, it's kind of a split. I know we're not all in agreement on how enjoyable or good of a song it is, but you know,
Well,
I
why
don't
don't you
think
fluff it a little bit so then I don't feel bad about shitting on it?
I enjoy it live. And hey, backstage, Kev was already singing the lyrics because they're so catchy, and that's the best part about some of the PHiSH songs is how catchy the lyrics can be and how easy it is to get it stuck in your brain and start singing it. And it's just a fun, happy song. Like it's a very springy song. Like it feels very like warm weather. Like let's go outside and hang out and enjoy the spring. I prefer the live version over the studio version. I don't think the studio version does it a lot of justice. Like
Oh
a
man.
lot
Yeah,
of
weird
PHiSH songs.
choices made. It's so
The
very. It
this
feels
Yeah,
overproduced, and the strings are a lot
the
for it, like
strings.
heavy-handed.
yeah, I agree with that. I will agree with that. Like, I think it's a lot more fun live. Like a lot of their stuff, when you see it live and you get that extra couple minutes of it, or that fun of the energy of the crowd and everything, is a lot more viable than the studio track album version
I
Yeah.
of it.
feel
But
I feel like it swung the other way from what they did on Sigma Oasis. Like
Yeah,
this is overproduced. They went and took the whole stripped down naked thing, and now
it
they're
could have
like,
been on
let's.
Big Boat or Fuego. It's like
yeah,
they've gone back, and that's what I'm worried about. So if it were just this song in isolation, in and of itself, I don't think is a problem. What makes me nervous is what it potentially means for the whole album because I loved what they did with Sigma Oasis, just in like a creative direction and getting away from those Big Boat Fuego, type
Well, your first single is
albums.
a statement. It's your statement about what it is. It's your branding. It's, hey, this is what you're going to be looking for in July. So this is what we're getting, I
Yeah, it
think.
is what it is. I mean, also, I will say the catchiness T, I think I could see what you mean about it being a positive, but it's also, I think, one of the things I have the biggest issue with. It reminds me of Soul Planet. Like it's almost like tedious. It's like, on a Soul Planet, it's like first came the, then came the, then came the, then came the, and I'm just like, all right, man. And the music to me is a little bit tedious too. So paired with tedious lyrics, it's like I mean, I don't know. I'm torn. I definitely can see the positive vibes in it and like the Snoopy like dance, like enjoying it. But I also in like I don't think I'd want to listen to it for too long or on heavy rotation. It's like if it pops up when I'm listening, fine, and then like let's move on.
well, definitely that way on the studio version for sure. Like, I'm not as big a fan of the studio version as I am of it being live. But Kev, just like you mentioned Sigma Oasis, I think the first song they released off Sigma Oasis was Sigma Oasis. So it's kind of what they do is kind of release that title track to start with and open it up with. So in that
Right.
sense, it makes sense. But I agree with you guys as far as like the sound of it, and this version of it could get annoying. And I feel like this version of it could actually turn more people off of the song than
Than
when
the
you
live
see
version.
than when you heard it live, right? And you get it live, you kind
I'm
of
wondering if any of the songs could benefit possibly from being overproduced. Like off the top of my head, Monster maybe I think could stand having over treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or the well could be too, like with the transitions and like the happy-go-lucky into the evil. I don't want it to, but I could see Oblivion benefiting potentially.
mhm,
I want Oblivion to get the like thread or everything's right treatment where it's like, the Sigma Oasis where it's like darker and
Mhm.
organic and long studio jamming. I think it would be the ideal way to do it, but I don't know. We got strings and did you hear how high? That's the other thing I'm worried about too, is they changed the arrangement slightly. I feel like they modulated it up and his singing on the studio version is a bit higher than he do
His
live.
low register's gone. He's lost his low register, and everything. It does sound weird. It sounds a little forced because it's not where he sang for 60 years of his life, you know?
I don't
yeah,
want that
that's
to happen. That sucks.
I know. It'll be interesting to see how the other songs on the album sound with that. You know what I mean? Like how produced what even's on the album, and then how produced they are, and how he sounds on it, and what the arrangements are on it. It will be
He's
interesting.
transitioning to being a higher being, and part of that is his voice is changing.
I don't know if it's so much his voice changing as like the broccoli lessons and like wanting to. I feel like he's always wanted to get there and like he's just doing it now. Um, so when is this coming out? This is coming out in July. I just had it up and now I lost it. You have the date, Kev?
What?
July
When it
12th. So it'll be out
Yeah.
July 12th. That seems like a long lead time too. I feel like the last couple of albums, it was like, hey, and like next week you could get this album. So
Yeah.
Maybe you get another single like
I
toward
could
the
see
end of
that.
May.
I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
you're definitely
sure.
gonna get releases and teases
Yeah,
and do a
for
whole
sure.
marketing thing with it.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, I have one more question I think would be interesting. Let's forget 1 and 2.0 for now, because I think that skews it too much. Out of all the 3.0 albums, which title track, or for like Big Boat, we'll say Friends, right? Because that's where that's from. Do you like the most, and do you think is the best banger? And conversely, or is the weakest? I guess what I'm getting at is where does Evolve fall in that? So you have Joy, Fuego, Friends off of Big Boat, and Sigma Oasis, and now Evolve.
A Fuego is the
Yeah, I was gonna
best.
say, are you talking just the studio version of it though, or
Yeah,
how it came
studio
studio?
version and how it represents the album. Where is Evolve at the bottom of that list? Is it at the top? Is it somewhere in the middle?
It's somewhere in the middle, I think. I think Kev's right. I would go with Fuego, and then I mean Sigma Oasis. The first time you heard it was so good, and like it's kind of that track that
Falls
has
off.
right. It kind of falls off now. Like it's still great album. I still like throwing that album on. I still think it's a great album, but I don't think it is as good as the first few times you heard it. So I would say to Kev's point, I think Fuego probably is my favorite out of all of those.
Yeah, I think that's probably me too. I think Joy is up there too. And Sigma Oasis, I like in the middle. I personally, I think, and I don't want to shout, I think Evolve is the weakest title track that they've
Hmm.
ever had. Because even if you do include the other ones, I love Undermine and Round Room.
Mm,
So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the albums might be fine because I think Oblivion, Monsters, The Well, like there's a lot of good, and even I don't
yeah.
hate Evolve Live, but I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm definitely nervous. I don't think that's what they want either for a big release and avail of the single to make people like question it. But
Nervous and like like a little trepidation in there about how's this gonna go down? Yeah.
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 All right, you guys got any other thoughts on this
I was just
album?
gonna say, you just rattled off a few songs, and Matt, that probably was where I'd go. Oblivion, The Well. I don't know if they redo Life Saving Gun, but that's a possibility.
That would be sick. I
Yeah,
see. I
that
don't
would
know
be.
how that thematically works with Evolve and this. I know maybe they'll
Oblivion
just
and Evolve, and
maybe they'll
you
just
think it's gonna
abandon
be a
it.
song cycle? It's gonna be like a story cycle of some kind, maybe?
I don't know if it'll be a cycle, but they usually the songs have some thread through them, right? Like
Right.
Thematic unity, right?
right, like big. This sounds like it belongs on Big Boat to me, right? Like it's right in the way it's produced. It's right in that vibe with those other songs,
Yeah.
right? And it would be a shame if all of the songs on this new album fall into that area.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, yeah, hopefully.
Do you think
I
we'll get
mean,
anything new that they haven't played?
I think there will be a new song, and I think it will be debuted at the Sphere.
That'd be cool.
that'd be interesting. We'll see.
I think we get every song that's going to be on the new album. I think you should expect every night there at least be 2 or 3 4.0 songs.
I just saw that. I just refreshed and looked at tour resumes on
Not even
or starts on
3.0,
the 9th.
4.0 stuff since 2020. Mercy.
Your connection's off.
When does tour start?
So I just saw that it starts on the 19th. So this is the week before, which is probably where they chose it, right? To
Yeah.
like tie it all together.
Totally.
Although we're gonna get one of those fucking tours, like the Numberline tour, like what was that? Petrichor in 16, where you just get fucking Evolve every show.
Well, not just Evolve, but I mean, hopefully you'll get some of those other songs off of there a lot more frequently this tour, which would be cool. You know, a few of those.
Well, I mean, they've done Evolve 13 times already. They've done that
Yeah.
song a lot, you know.
Yeah, that 12 times too many.
Right. I was at the debut
Where are you?
in Nashville. Yes,
Yeah, you
they
Evolved that
opened with
night.
it. They opened the show with it. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
really? I
that's
came all the
right.
way to Nashville for this?
Where do you think this song fits in a track list? Where would you want it placed?
Live or on the album?
On the album. And actually, that's a question too for a future show. Is there a difference between track listing and set listing, or should you do the construction the same way? I think that it is a difference.
I think Evolve closes the album because I'm thinking if it's a song cycle, you're going to have the Well and Oblivion, the Darkness, and then the album ends with Evolve, which is the happy, conclusion.
Evolve. Or Devolve.
It's such a weak closer, though.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, I think it's more. It's a little weak to open the album too, I feel like, but if it's a title track, sometimes you open the album with that and then like you
the two slides there. You got to have a rocker. You got to have a rocker to open.
Yeah, rocker, put this in a 2 slot, and then the 3 or 4 are usually like your like your
Oblivion or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Put Oblivion in the 3 or 4 spot and the Well at the end, so you end with just like the crazy turmoil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That goes
Can we give a teaser for Sunday morning?
Sure, yeah. I want to think about it, but we could do a little teaser.
Right, we're gonna thinking about themes because Trey mentioned that there were going to be themes for each night, so we're going to pontificate about what they may be.
And an overall theme, the whole thing. So
yeah, I was gonna say, is it individual themes or is it a connecting theme or is it both?
He said each night will have a theme, is how it was worded.
But he said it's all overall a theme. So like I think it's all 4 nights connect into one. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Theme of themes.
A theme of themes.
All right, I got to put my thinking cap on. But yeah, join us Sunday morning, 10 Eastern. Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, guys. Cool.
All right. Let us know what you think of Evolve in the comments.
Yeah. Are you hyped? Are you excited for this album?
Are you stoked?
All right. Thanks, guys.